Hey my lovelies, welcome back to my channel. My name is Uche. If today is your first time of seeing my video, thank you for stopping by. Do well to subscribe to my channel, like this video and share. And if you're a returning subscriber, thank you for sticking around. I love you. In today's video, we're going to be learning how to make this beautiful jumpsuit right on your screen. It has a side pocket, and if this is what you are interested in, keep on watching. And don't forget to hit on the subscribe button, like, share and comment if you find this video helpful. So let's get right into it. This is a fabric I made use of, and the name of the fabric is Vintage, and I have 2.5 years of it, so you can make use of any fabric of your choice. So I'm going to be drafting on my pattern paper, but if you are making yours, you can go ahead and draft directly on your fabric. So I will first of all draft the upper bodice, which is the half length, and here is my pattern paper. I'm gonna ahead to mark out some lines. So here I have my shoulder line. Here I have my zipper allowance of 1 inch. I'm going to be drafting both the front and the back on this pattern paper. Okay, so I will go ahead to fold it inward like this. So this is my shoulder measurement, 7.5 inches, and here is my chest line. So from the shoulder I will come down by 1 inch for the shoulder slope. I will take a neck width of 3.5 inches. I will go ahead to connect my shoulder slope. So here is the half length. From my shoulder to my half length I have 16.5 inches. I use 1.5 inches for my back neck depth and 3 inches for my front neck depth. So if you have a curve rule, go ahead and connect it with your curve ruler. On my chest line, I'm going to divide my bust measurement by 4. I'll mark it out on my chest line. On my waist line, I will divide my waist measurement by 4. I will add 1 inch for that. So this dart is totally optional. You can choose not to add that to yours. Okay, I'm going to find the midpoint of what I have from the shoulder to my chest line. I will go in by 1/2 inch. I will go ahead to curve out my armhole. So after that is done, I'm going ahead to add my stitching allowance all around. As you can see, just go ahead and add your stitching allowance all around. I'll extend this back neckline to my zipper allowance like so, and also this my waistline, I'll also extend it to my zipper allowance. I'm going to go inward by 7.5 inches on the waist line. I'll go ahead to connect it upward. This is to avoid any form of zipper bulge. After that is done, I'm going to take my dart. So from the waistline, I will go in by half of my nipple to nipple measurement. I will go up by 5 inches. I will also repeat my nipple to nipple measurement. I'm going to connect it. So I'll take 1/2 inch on both sides like so. I'll use my straight ruler to connect it upward, as you can see me doing like this. So I'll go ahead to cut out, but only the back neckline. So after cutting out, I'll place it on my fabric and cut out the back pattern and add 1/2 inch on the down part for joining the upper part and the down part together. For the down part of this jumpsuit, I've also marked out some lines which I'll be explaining. So from the waistline, I came down by 10 inches, which is my hip line. Okay, so from the waistline, come down to your hip line, and also from my waistline I came down to my crotch line. So how to get your crotch is for you to sit on a flat stool, measure from your waist down to the stool, or another way to get it is to divide your hip measurement by 4 and add 1 inch to it. So that I have done, but because this is a jumpsuit, I am going to be adding extra 1.5 inches. So instead of marking 11 inches, which is my measurement, I marked out 12.5 inches. Hope that is understood. So here is my crotch line. So from the crotch line, I'm going to come down by 2.5 inches. This will serve as my thigh line. I will go ahead to connect it across, as you can see me doing like this. I will also label it my thigh line. So for the length of this jumpsuit, what you will do is to minus your half length. Okay, just minus your half length, placing it on your waistline. and you mark out the length of your jumpsuit. But because my pattern paper was not enough, I'll be completing it later on. Okay, so here is my waistline. What I will do next is to take my hip measurement divided by 4 on my waistline plus my stitching allowance. You mark your hip measurement divided by 4 and add your stitching allowance to it. I mark it on my waistline, I will mark it on my hip line and also on my crotch line. Your hip measurement divided by 4 plus your stitching allowance. After that, I will go ahead to connect the points into a straight line like so. So for your crotch extension, what you will do is to divide your hip measurement by 16. Okay, go ahead and divide your hip measurement by 16. Whatever you get, mark it after your hip measurement. Mine is 2.5 inches. I'm gonna ahead to mark it, and from the hip line I will connect it like so. After that is done, I'm going to come over to my waistline. From this point, I will take my waist measurement divided by 4. I will add my stitching allowance and 1 inch for that. I will go ahead to connect it to this side like this. Blend it into the hip line as you can see. So I will come over to my crotch line. I will measure what I have there. I will bring it down to my thigh line like this. So I will find the midpoint of what I have there. I will go ahead to mark it also on my crotch line. I will connect the 2 points together into a straight line. So what you will do next is to take your round thigh measurement, the widest part of your thigh. So measure it. For me, I have 24 inches, but I will add extra ½ inch for stitching allowance. So when I divide that 25 inches by 2, I have 2.5 inches. Go ahead and share it in between the line, okay? And after marking it, you go ahead to connect it upward like so, and also connect to your crotch measurement. So it's as simple as that. I'm going to take the line down. So if you want yours to be a bit fitted, you will go ahead and mark out your new measurement and reduce the measurement. But for me, I will take it all the way down. What I did was to take that little allowance all the way to the hem of the paper, and then I went ahead to mark out the measurement I have there, bring it down on the hem of the paper, and I will go ahead to connect into a straight line. So that is all for the front part of the jumpsuit. Okay, so I'm going to be converting this pattern to my back pattern. Okay, I'm going to convert this measurement to my back pattern. So that means I'll be drafting both the front and the back on the same pattern paper. If you are cutting directly on your fabric, you don't need to do that. All you have to do is to cut out this front pattern and then place it on another folded fabric, and then go ahead to do what I'm about to do now. So for the back crotch extension, I'm going to mark 2.5 inches. Remember, I also use the same 2.5 inches for the front. And from my thigh line, I am going to take 2 inches all the way down. Okay, note that this measurement I'm taking is after the front pattern. Okay, after the front pattern, that's where you'll be making all these measurements. Okay, just pay attention and see what I'm doing. Okay, I used 2.5 inches for the back crotch extension and 2 inches all the way down. So coming to my hip line, I'm going to extend the hip measurement by 2 inches as well, and I will connect it like so. You can see how simple it is, and from that point I will connect it to meet the waistline in a slanted manner like this. So that is how simple it is. Okay, just pay attention. In case you did not understand it, go ahead and rewatch it again. So from this upper part, I went up by 1 inch, and I'll connect it to meet the side like this in a slanted manner. That is for the back waistline. Okay, so after that, we are going to mark out our zipper allowance. Okay, so from the waistline, I'm going to come down by about 9 or 10 inches, and then I'll mark 1 inch for my zipper allowance. I'll go ahead to connect it into a straight line like so, and then I'll also connect it like this. Okay, so that's all for that. So I will mark out my dart. So like I said earlier, this dart is totally optional. I'll mark out my dart from the front measurement. I marked my nipple to nipple measurement divided by 2. I came down by 5 inches. I'll take ½ inch on both sides and I'll go ahead to connect it like this. After that, I'll go ahead to cut it out. So I'm going ahead to cut out the back pattern. Please pay attention to this cutting, okay, so that you will not make mistake. So like I said earlier, if you are cutting directly on your fabric, after you must have gotten the front part of this pattern, you place it on another folded fabric and then extend your crotch line and all the lines we did and your zipper allowance, okay. So I'm going to place it on my fabric and cut out right now. So I'll pin it down on my fabric. I'm going to complete the length of my jumpsuit. So I will minus my half length, placing it on my waistline. I will go ahead to measure out the length of my jumpsuit. I am making use of 58 inches plus extra 2 inches for stitching allowance, making it 60 inches. I'll go ahead to cut it out. I will leave ½ inch for joining the upper part and the down part together. So I'll go ahead to remove my pattern. Okay, after removing my pattern, so this is my upper bodice. Okay, this is the half length, as you can see. Remember that we minused 7.5 inches on the waistline, so please do well to notch your dart, okay. So remember that we minus 7.5 inches from the waistline of the upper bodice, okay. So when you put them together, you notice that the down part is longer, okay, on the waistline than the upper part. So what you will do is to also remove that 7.5 inches from the waistline of the down part like this. So after cutting it out, you can now see that the both are equal, both the upper part and the down part, they are now equal, okay. So I'll keep it aside. I'm going ahead to cut out all the extension that we made for the back pattern so that we can be able to cut out the front pattern, okay. So sorry that part couldn't record. So I went ahead to cut out the front crotch and all the whole extension that we made earlier, okay. So this is now my front pattern. I'm going to place it on my fabric, fold my fabric into 2, place it and cut out my front piece, okay. So after cutting it, this is what I have. I also did the same thing for the front part. I minus my half length and I completed the length of my jumpsuit, okay. So for this front part, we're going to be adding side pocket to it, which is also optional. If you don't want, you can leave it. So I went in by 3 inches. I'll come down by 8 inches. I'll go ahead to slant the line to connect it together. After that, I'll cut it out. So I have this fabric here with me. The weight is 8 inches while the length is 11 inches, and I have 4 pieces of it, as you can see. So I will keep 2 pieces of it aside while we work with 2 pieces, okay. I'll put them together and place my fabric like this on it. So make sure that the sides and the upper parts are equal, okay. Make sure you arrange everything properly. Let the sides and the upper part be equal, then you go ahead to trace it exactly the same. So after that, here is what we have. I'm going to open up my fabric like this, and I'll bring down the pieces. I'll place them right side facing right side like this. I'll use my pin to hold it down. I'll also repeat the same thing on the other side. I'll go ahead to stitch by ½ inch. After stitching, I will top stitch right here, okay. I'll top stitch it. I will go ahead to put my fabric together like this. I will arrange it properly and I will stitch the crotch area by ½ inch like this. And for the back as well, I'm going to stitch this crotch area. So I'll stitch it by ½ inch like this. Make sure that when you are stitching, you enter into the zipper allowance maybe by about 1 inch upward like this, okay. So this is it for the front part, okay. I've gone ahead to top stitch on the side of the pocket, and this is what it looks like, as you can see. So I'll turn it to the wrong part of the jumpsuit. Okay, I'm going to bring the two pieces that we left before. I will place them like this. So watch what I'm doing. Right side facing right side. I'll use my pin to secure it. I will also place the other one. Okay, I will raise it up and stitch by 1/2 inch on all this part that I am explaining right now. I'll also place this one, use my pin to secure it as well. So I'll raise it up and stitch like this. Okay, after that I'll bring it back, and this is what I have after stitching it. You can see, so the upper part is still open, so I'll turn it to the right side, and this is what I have, as you can see. I'm trying to arrange it properly. Okay, so after that I'm going to go ahead to secure the waistline and the pocket together, and also secure the hip part and the pocket together. Let's go ahead to stitch them together to become one piece. I'll repeat the same thing for this side. After that I'll keep it aside. So this is what I have for the back part. Here's what I have. I'm gonna head to stitch the crotch area. I also went ahead to stitch my darts together, and this is what it looks like. I'll keep it aside. So for the upper part, this is the back piece. I'm going ahead to cut out the back piece, and this is what I have. I added 1/2 inch on the neckline and 1/2 inch on the down part. I'll go ahead to hold my dart and notch. I'll keep it aside. I'll cut out this zipper allowance because it's no longer needed, so that we can be able to cut the front piece. I'll cut out the front neckline as well. I'll place it and trace it exactly like this on another fabric. So guys, I've done that. Okay, I added 1/2 inch on the upper part and also on the down part. Please do where to cut it on fold, okay, and notch your dart as well. And this is what I have. I've sewn the darts down. This is what it looks like from the wrong side, as you can see. And for the back piece as well, I've sewn the darts down. The next thing I'm going to do is to join the upper part and the down part together, placing it right side facing right side. I'm going to stitch it by 1/2 inch on the waistline, so make sure the darts are aligning. Okay, so for the back side as well, I'll also bring them together, but make sure you face it right side facing right side and go ahead to stitch the waistline by 1/2 inch. So I'm done stitching the upper part and the down part together, and this is what I have. You can see how pretty it looks like. The darts are aligning. Okay, everything is sitting so pretty, and this is what I have for the back. So I'll arrange the front and the back properly. I'll go ahead to join them by 1/2 inch on the shoulder, and after that I will take my body measurement and use it to stitch the sides. So after I am done doing all that, I'm going to use this bias to turn the neckline like this. And after turning the neckline, I'll also flip my jumpsuit to the wrong side. I will arrange it properly. I'll bring the crotch area and arrange it. Make sure it is well aligned. Okay, I will stitch from one side of the leg to the other side by 1/2 inch, and after I am done doing that, I will bring it back. So this is what I have after stitching it. You can see how everything is sitting so pretty. Okay, what I will do next is to attach my zipper and also fold the down part by 1/2 inch twice. So here is for my sleeve. I've folded my fabric into two, and make sure what you have will be enough for your round sleeve. Okay, so I'm going to mark the length of the sleeve. I'm marking 7 inches plus extra 2 inches for hemming allowance. So I'll connect it from the open side of my fabric. I will come down by 4 inches. From this part, I will go ahead to curve my sleeve out like this, and after that I will take my round sleeve measurement divided by 2. I'll add my stitching allowance on the length of the sleeve as well. I'll mark half of the measurement right there and also add my stitching allowance. I'll go ahead to connect the points together and cut out. After cutting out, this is what I have. Make sure you place it on another fabric and cut out 2 pieces. Okay, so I'll go ahead to hem the down part by 1 inch twice and also hold the side with my round sleeve measurement. After I am done doing that, I will stitch it to my armhole. Okay, so if you have watched up to this point, please kindly subscribe to my channel, share this video, like and comment.